Hello and welcome. My name is Martin Jones and this is the London School of Business Finance TV, LSBF television, and we are presenting on AAT today, as you can see emblazoned on my t-shirt. I say we because there are in fact 3 studios running at the moment. This is the level 2 studio, this is Studio 1, and in Studio 1 we all do level 2. Studio 1, level 2, that's hard to say. We're all doing level 2, so that means for me I'm going to do a couple of bookkeeping sessions. I've done one already, 1.5 hour already. I'm going to do the second one now. And then I'm going to move studio. I'm going to go next door to do level 3, and then I'll move again to do level 4 in the late afternoon. So that's my life. Your life is to do bookkeeping, is to do level 2 accounting, which is known as bookkeeping in the trade, and indeed by the AAT. And I think that's enough chat by me. Behind the green screen here, I have a task ready to go. And as you can see, this second session is bookkeeping controls. There is the acronym, the 4-letter acronym that the AAT use for bookkeeping controls. And it's always a devil making sure I hit the 25 minutes bang on, so I've got to be quite careful with this one because there's quite a lot going on. This really is controls. It's almost like an audit procedure actually that we're being asked to conduct here. So let me bring it up a little bit and read it to you so you get the idea of what we're going to do together for task 6. So here we go, here's task 6. The bank statement and the cash book for May are shown below. So in fact, this is a great program I'm using now. This is a PDF imported into a program called Journal, which is very similar to the Microsoft program called Journal. But what I can't do, unfortunately, is get 2 pages next to each other, which is a bit of a shame. So, of course, I've done this question on paper. I'm sure you can't see that in full. But when I did this question on paper, just to make sure I got all the ideas of what was going on, what I did was, the same as I did 28 years ago when I first started in bookkeeping, was I got the relevant client information in one hand, and I got the supporting evidence in the other hand, or left hand, right hand kind of a thing. In this case, what we're talking about is the bank statement from the bank, and the client's T account is what it is effectively in the other hand, and I put them next to each other and a tick between them. And that's what I did 28 years ago, and that's what I did a couple of days ago when I was doing this again. And it's I must admit, it's quite a nice thing to do on paper. Paper's not the best thing for communicating by and large these days, is it? But I must admit it is quite nice on paper doing this particular thing, because what you do is tick between them. But I can't exactly do that here because I'll show you why. I'll see what we think of the presentation when we go like this. As you can see, I can get them both roughly on the same page at the same time, but that is really hard to read, isn't it? Goodness me. But one is above the other. And maybe we will do that. Maybe that will work for us. It's not pretty though, is it? But maybe that is the way for me to present to you, because what you're doing is you're ticking, because I'll use the collar here that I've got. You're ticking this to that. I'll say that again. You're ticking this to that is what you're doing. So having them both in front of you at the same time, that's really, really helpful. So maybe we will try that scale. Anyway, I seem to have gone ahead of myself because I haven't actually read the requirement. So let's get back into the question and read the requirement. So here we go. The bank statement and cash book for May are shown below. The bank statement against the cash book, tick, that means tick. The bank statement against the cash book and enter any transactions into the cash book as needed. So when doing this process in real life, when doing this process in this examination question, what we find is that some of the things that have been recorded by the bank have not been recorded by the cash book, and therefore need to be put in the cash book because the cashier, as the person is often called, the person responsible for accounting the the bank account, the cashier has failed to record some of the cash transactions in her records. Probably need to just address that phraseology. This language of cash and cashier, you know, really, to be frank with you, when you're talking cash and cashier in any organisation, you're talking cash at the bank, and cashier responsible for the cash at the bank. It's slightly different at Tesco's, clearly, because you're talking about notes and coins. It's just slightly different, isn't it? But in most organisations, when we talk about cash, we're talking about cash at the bank, and when we're talking about cashier, we're the person responsible for recording in the bank. Okay, so that's that little bit of politics sorted. I've got to be careful. If I carry on yabbering away, we're never going to get this thing done. So let's get on with it. I've kind of convinced myself now that I really do want to tick from one to another. Is that going to work like that? How does that look to you guys? Looks about perfect, doesn't it? So the important information is in the centre there. My goodness, that's hard on my eyes, but I'll give it a go. So what we're looking to do first of all is just tick the stuff, pink, tick the stuff that is included in both. How's that looking? Yeah, that's looking good. So the bank interest has been paid in, so it should be on the inside of the cash book. Nope, it's not there. The 707 was a cheque paid out, so that 707 should be on the other side. Yep, that's there. So we tick the 707 and we tick the 707. Do you get the idea? And then cheque recorded in the cash book in April. I'll talk about that a bit more. Counter credit from Ballo, so that should have come in. Yep, that has been recorded, so we tick that in both. That has been recorded. Back's receipt, we look for 854 of receipt. Nope, that's not there. Check to Far Traders, I think it says 2240. Where is that? Oh, yep, that is there. 2240. Tick from one to the other. I can make it a little bit bigger now, I think, as I go down the list. Yep. Is that still on the screen? Oh, I've got to be careful now because that's actually off the screen. It's on my screen, on yours. Yep, that's on. Okay. So check. I've forgotten what side that is now because I can't see the side. Paid out. So 1627. Oh, isn't there? So that's missing. 3,500 isn't there either. And 289 is there. I'll have to check some of these again because it's really hard on my eyes. Khan and Wade backs hasn't been recorded. Counter credit 1316 has been recorded. Right, I'm going to double check things before I say anything or do anything, but it looks like we've ticked everything that has been recorded. So I'm going to go back to the bank statement and talk about what we have in the bank statement and what hasn't been recorded. So my job is to record anything that hasn't been recorded. That is my job. This is my source of information for things that might have been forgotten. How might they have been forgotten? I don't know. They went through the bank account, but we just didn't notice. Oh, okay. So what might go through the bank account and get forgotten? The bank interest. It's actually an asset bank, so that we've received interest, which is a nice idea. So that needs recording. All right. So we're going to record that in just a moment. Now, the balance of 698. I'm just stuttering a little bit there because it's a tricky one to describe. I'm wondering what in real life what you would do is you would tick this because you would. Can you see what you have down here? It's slightly fake. Very fake. What you have is just the cash book for the current period, which is May to May month end. So you have just May. All you have is just May. In real life, you would have May and April, and you would be able to see this balance of 698 recorded in the cash book in April, and you would tick it to the April receipt. So this does not need recording because it's already recorded. So I'll just make a note of already recorded. So we're not going to call that because it's already recorded. Did I say that right? We're not going to record that because it's already recorded. But I don't feel like ticking it either because it's not literally on both. The 707 and the 514 have been recorded, so we don't need to record them. The 854 is a receipt, so it's paid in and paid out. So this 854 was received by us, but hasn't been recorded, so it needs recording. Now, this one here of 1627 has been paid out by us, but it hasn't been recorded in the cash book. Is that right? Oh, no, it has. There you go, you see. Because I'm struggling, my eyes are struggling, I missed that one. Can I just tick that one for you now? So, 1627. 1627. Maybe that other tick is a bit long and that's what's caused the problem. So we'll just make it a bit shorter. There we go. That works well, doesn't it? Because that would be bad, wouldn't it? If a simple check had been written and it hadn't been recorded by our cashier, we'd be like, why did you miss your cash? You know, there's a check that's been written here. You wrote it. You know, how did you figure? Exactly so. So it's not that. So I'm not going to get annoyed over that. But this is a standing order. This payment here is a standing order. Again, I think I'll just get rid of that extra long tickiness of that tick, so I can highlight this 2,500. It's not surprising that the cashier hasn't seen that because that went straight out the bank without her authority, as it were. She didn't write out a check, it just happened automatically. And I call her a she. She's going to find out at the same time as us, which is like, oh yeah, the standing order, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's okay, that's okay. We're not going to blame her for that. So that needs recording. And that's it. Now, 622525. Yeah, cool. I'll talk about the 622 and the 525 in a moment, not now. So our source of information has given us 1, 2, 3 transactions that haven't been recorded, that need to be recorded, so let's record them. Am I going for blue? I seem to like blue, so let's go for blue. The place where we record is not on the bank statement, obviously, because the bank statement belongs to the bank. What we're going to do is record on our cash book. And it's drive on the left, crash on the right, as usual. So it's drive on the left, crash on the right, as usual. But for our purposes, that's really more to do with money in and money out. That would be more the way that we would be seeing the cash book. But it is effectively a big fat T account. It's a little bit naughty describing it as a T account for certain very technical reasons, but it is effectively a T account. There we go, like that. So off we go, off we go, off we go. What do I need to record? So I need to record the bank interest received. So the bank interest was received on the 2nd of May. Ooh, that looks like MAG, doesn't it? 2nd of May. It was bank interest. I'm going to have to write a little bit small for this, but that's okay. And the balance was 29. Now it's recorded. Oh, my nose looking a bit non-9ish. There we go, 29. And the other thing that was unrecorded on the 17th of May was the cash received from Carn and Wade. Of 854. And do you know what? I feel like ticking it now. You're going to allow me that little luxury? Tick it now so say it's ticked. Okay, so 29,854. Let's tick it now. So 29. Oh, we've recorded that now. Okay, cool. 854. Oh, we've recorded that now. Okay, cool. So I'm going to tick those because now they are in both. Don't feel like leaving it unticked. And then on the other side, we need to have this PQ partner standing order. So here we go with PQ. So this was on the, oh, get the right colour, 25th of May. It was the standing order. Should I put a little less over there for standing order? And it's PQ partners. Ooh, PQ partners. And I seem to remember 3,500, 3,500. Oh, do you know what? Now that's being recorded, I feel like giving it a tick. So I'll tick it here. And I'll tick it up there. That's it. And then I will look at, oh, do you know what, I can't, it feels really weird not ticking that 698. Will you allow me? So what you would do in real life is you would tick that 698 to the cash book entry somewhere up here. Have I got that the right way around? 698, is it a payment? No, it's paid out. That 698 would be up here in April. So up in real life, you'd have April and you'd tick it. So, you know, you'd be able to tick it. There'd be no untickiness. So I just feel really, I don't know why I feel so nerdy about this, but I feel very uncomfortable not ticking everything. So now everything's ticked. So the idea is that you tick everything in the bank statement. But you don't necessarily tick everything in the cash book. And the reason you don't necessarily tick everything in the cash book will become obvious when I go to the cash book and show you. If you go to the cash book, you'll see that there are a couple of balances that we haven't accommodated. And all it is that we've sent checks to these two guys and they haven't presented those checks to their bank account. And therefore our bank account has not paid out this amount. We have sent them a check and we accommodate the payment of payments when we send them a check, but they actually get the cash from us when they present the check to their bank and their bank presents it to our bank. It is at the point that they present when they receive the cash. So because they haven't received the cash, our bank account hasn't paid the cash. We have sent out the check, therefore we have made the payment from a cash book point of view, but the bank statement has not accommodated these two payments, these two cash outflows, because the bank haven't seen these checks yet. They don't even know they exist. So in other words, those two in yellow are cool, but we're not quite finished yet. We're not quite finished yet because what we want to do is carry down. How are we doing for time? We're doing all right for time. So what we want to do is carry down. So let's just carry down. So the carry down date would be the month end. So that's the 31st of May. Let's make it bigger. I'm struggling to write. Balance carried down, and I'll talk about the writing then after that. See, /D they like to go for here, and that balance carried down will be brought down on the 1st of June. Actually they go for abbreviations, looks a bit weird. June, 1st of June. Balance. We got that right? No, was that? No, it should be over here, shouldn't it? Balance brought down, and I'll just talk briefly about the politics of the blue writing in just a moment. But what we need to do is we need to add down and find out which is the bigger side. Can I do this in a slightly fake way? I've obviously done this question before, so I know what's going to happen. But I do it in a slightly fake way so that you get the idea of what happens if... What you try and do is you try and add it up in your head and see which side is obviously bigger. Is the debit side correct side? Exactly. You can't really do this one quite so quickly in your head. And why would you? You've got a calculator, right? So you grab your calculator and you add down on the left and you add down on the right. So 768 plus 5415 plus 1316 plus 29 plus 854 equals 8382. And I'll just make a note of that down here in green. So that's 8382. How's that looking to you? Looking good, isn't it? And on the right hand side now, 707 plus 622 plus 1627 plus 2240 plus 525 plus 289 plus 3500 equals 9510, which agrees to what I have here, 9510. It's very useful having my cheat notes here. So, as you can see, the bigger figure is 9510, and what that means is that the 9510 is going to go into the total. Let's do it then. So, the 9510 is going to go into the total on the right. 9510 is going to go into the total on the right, obviously, but also it's going to go into the total on the left as well. 9510. But that doesn't equal 9510, Martin. It will when I stick a balancing figure in that gap there. That's the idea, you see. So 9510 minus 8382 equals 1228. So 1128. Did I say that right? I don't think I did first time. 1128. So 1128 is the brought down balance. Great. And I'm almost out of time, but I've still got enough time to make this point. So I think I'll make this on full screen. There we go, bring that up. It hasn't been asked, but it is a requirement in other questions to make sure that you can interpret the information in these T accounts. This bank credit balance is clearly on the credit side, which means that we have a credit balance, we have a creditor, we have a payable. This is in fact an overdraft balance. All right, I admit it hasn't been asked for in this question, but it does get asked for in others. So we need to be aware of the fact that this is an overdraft balance. And I do suggest to you that you are also aware that the balance brought down as a credit balance is equivalent to the balance carried down as a debit balance. Again, there are examples of questions that ask about this feature of bookkeeping. So, you know, I understand if you've got a brought down balance, you focus on the brought down balance to interpret what the brought down balance means. But even if you don't have a brought down balance, you would still expect it to interpret the carry down balance. Now, the carry down balance is always on the opposite side to the brought down balance. So the way to think about a carry down balance is that carry down balance is a debit balance, therefore there's a corresponding credit balance, therefore we have a creditor, therefore it's an overdraft. So that would be required. Now, that is generally speaking, when you're dealing with brought downs, relatively easy. So brought down balances in receivables, brought down balances in PPE, brought down balances in inventory. But the bank is not so easy because in our home lives, in our retail lives, we tend to focus on the bank from the perspective of the bank. We don't realize we do this, but what we do is we look at the number in the dial on the cash point. That's what I do, or the number that's on the screen. That's what I do. Or indeed the number on the bank statement. That's what my mum does. She still gets bank statements and looks at the paper bank statements. And of course, when you have a credit balance in a bank statement, what that means is you're in the black, to use the expression of in the black, in the red. You're in the black if you've got £500 credit at the bank. From the bank's perspective, then you think credit is a good thing. Well, credit is a good thing in this particular context because what you're looking at is their perspective. what we have is this thing called a financial instrument, fancy thing called a financial instrument, which means that there is only, say for example, the balance is 500, there is only one figure of 500, but for that one figure of 500, there's two different perspectives, and we're looking at their perspective, not ours, you see. So when you look at the bank, and the bank says credit 500, what it is saying is, I owe you 500. The bank is saying, I have a creditor of 500, I owe you 500. And therefore, if they owe us, we have a debtor. So their credit balance is our debit balance. Their credit balance is our debit balance. Their, say it the other way around, let's do this one, our credit balance is their debit balance. They have a receivable. So do bear that in mind when working with the bank. When we do our bookkeeping, when we do our financial reporting, when we do our records, we look from our point of view. We do look to the bank for supporting information, but don't forget the bank are doing it from their point of view. Watch out for that reversal of the point of view of the numbers when dealing with banking transactions. Great, thanks very much for listening to me, guys. I'm going to go big man now. Okay, so just reinforcing the brands, my name is Martin Jones, and I have been talking to you for the last hour on bookkeeping at level 2. The first half hour was on bookkeeping transactions. The one just recorded was bookkeeping controls. They're very similar, work very well together. If you can do them together as a study exercise and then exams one after another, that would be ideal. Thank you very much for listening to me. I wish you very good luck with your AAT studies and look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.